Right. So now we have the surface of our deck covered. We have to prep for our picture frame. So what we want to do is just adjust the depth of the saw here. So basically you set it on there, go down until it's touching. So we're going to measure back 4 1/4 inches from the outside of the rim joist. Okay. At both ends of this structure, where I have access to see the rim joist. And then I'm going to get my lovely assistant Nate to give me a hand with this. Come on over, bud. I'm cutting 4 1/4 over. This is 5 1/2. In theory, that gives me an 1 1/4 overhang, which is perfect. It gives me a nice little nosing even after the skirt boards are installed. Now all I do is line this up and run the full length of the board. Finished our cut. Now we're just got to clean off our area. Okay, Nate, help me put that in place and we'll show you. Set it in, push it in. That's a clean line. We're in good shape there, eh?
Does that seem legit?
I like it. But you can see that fence that we were working on in the background. We're almost on the neighbor's side. And now on his side, it's almost 10 feet tall because we had to build a retaining wall and we're filling in with gravel so we can extend the patio stone. But that's just one side of the fence. Hopefully in a couple of days we'll be able to finish off our side of the fence. We have a production video on that on our YouTube channel as well. Go check out the library. Don't be afraid to leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. I'm on it.
Let's do it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
As long as there's lead in this here pencil, we'll keep going.
Sounded so southern. This
Sweet.
pencil.
So picture framing your deck, it can be pretty straightforward, or it can be driving you crazy doing math. It all depends on your approach. So the way we're doing it is we're using the wood that we're going to use as the picture frame, as our guideline for using our pencil and our cutting line. So then any little oddities in the wood, doesn't matter, it's all part of the program. So basically we've got the spline cut and put that middle board in. That's the simple one, but the outside is where the miter joints are, so we've got to have a little system for this. So what we're going to do is we take our 14-foot board, which is more than enough lumber here, and we're just kicking it tight in and dropping in a screw. And after we're done, we're going to have a cut right in the middle. So that screw will be gone. It's just temporary. So what I'm doing now is I'm just putting on the perimeter boards. This one's done. And we're using our square. We're going to eyeball the place where we have our gap here. We're using our square, and then we're pushing this square off to the edge of the outside edge of that board underneath. And mark our line. Go like that so we know which pencil line we're dealing with. Same process, just mark your line. Go with the inside line for my cutting guy. I cut that on a square, so this is a 45-degree angle. So you can set the saw that way and just get a nice cut line on that pencil. Okay. When you're done, you'll come back, we'll transfer that line onto the boards underneath, and then we'll unscrew the boards, put those in the saw, and then we'll have a perfect miter joint.
I'm going to be cutting the wood. So we've got the compact miter saw or whatever.
Compound miter saw, yeah.
Whatever it is, compound. So right now it's set at 0 degrees. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's at 0 degrees. To get this angle right here, I'm gonna have to switch my blade to a 45.
Yeah, you gotta lift the brake. It's the big black, there you go.
So now that I've set my angle at 45 degrees, I'm gonna have to cut it. Because you made the line so freaking thick, I don't know if it's supposed to be on the line or to the right. What do you want me to do?
just to the right.
Just there.
We'll leave some pencil showing.
Yeah.
It's easier to cut it down later than it is to have a short piece.
Fair enough. Okay, so I guess I'm gonna cut it.
Go ahead.
Okay, so now that I didn't cut all the way through, because it is a pretty wide piece of wood, I got my helper to flip it around for me. Switch it to 45 the other way. Nope, sorry. I don't know why I did it that way, but okay. So I stay on the same angle. I just gotta line up the groove that I just cut. Like that. You got it?
Yep. So a lot of times we'll just flip the board over and change the angle on the saw. But in this case, Nate, I want to make sure that the surface cut is perfect without any, fray edges on it.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm flipping around instead of the saw. You're dealing with things that are 14 feet long. They don't always go as planned. What do you think, Nate? We just take another saw blade off that and see how she looks?
Yep.
All right.
If the cut was wrong, it's not because of me, it was because of him.
Take another saw blade.
Yeah?
It's okay to make mistakes. The point is you want to make the mistakes so you can shorten the wood. You don't want to have to try to stretch the wood. There we go. All right.
Don't want it to be too short, eh?
Is that a perfect 45?
Sure.
No.
Yeah.
No, look at. It's more like a inch, and it's like 1 degree off.
Okay.
So we don't want to be using this, right? This is why you try your best to make it square. But it's wood, it's wet, it dries, it twists, it moves. So when it comes to picture frame time, you want to cut this way, and you want to leave that pencil mark, okay?
Leave it?
Leave the pencil mark. You're going to want to set your blade up because it's not exactly 45, right? This one's going to be like 45.5 degrees. First, I want you to put that to 45.5 degrees.
45
and a half. The bottom is going to want to lock it
45.5 degrees.
Yep, lock it in. Okay. Now, we want to cut this so that the pencil is left showing.
Yeah.
So you want to cut, so you can see the blade on the other side. First, cut about a 1/2 inch away so you can confirm that the angle's right. All right?
Okay.
We'll hold it flat on the guard on the back of the saw. Now cut that bad boy and let's confirm the angle. How's that look to you?
I'd say 45.
Now cut just a hair to the right of that first cut line, okay?
Okay, sensei.
Go. How's that one look?
That looks a lot better.
Okay, so let's get right up onto the pencil.
Okay.
So I want you to hold this joint together, and I'm going to go down there and mark the middle of the fishbone spline there, so we can cut the edge off. So you make that absolutely perfect. You can see when we're doing this kind of work, you can expect that you're going to need an opportunity to make a second or third try. So this is why we're working with wood that hasn't been cut to the right length yet. And when we're working with our angles, we're on the other side of a pencil. Want to make sure we get the angle just perfect before we, cut the wood and get rid of all of our options that are available. What we're going to do here, Nate, is we're going to screw this joint together. Just give me for a second. And we're going to use traditional screws for this. We're going to get it started. I'm going to run on reverse, what I like to call cauterizing the wound. And the reason I'm using a traditional screw on the edge here is because camo screw driving straight in doesn't have a head, so it's not going to hold anything together. Now we can throw a screw here. So when I'm screwing down my picture frames, I'm still using this kind of screw. The camo screw is marvelous. Going right into, I'm going to just go in a bit of an angle, right into my rim joist underneath. Then go flush, plus a quarter. Now when this wood swells up, a couple of rainstorms later, that hole will just be grown over, you'll never see it again. Well, that concludes our picture frame technique for the deck. Really happy with how it's going so far. I mean, it's been a long, hot day today, 30 plus degrees. And we've got about 170, 180 square feet of flooring down here. That's good. I think overall, it's starting to come together just like I envisioned it. It's come a long way from just a scratch note on the pad for our permit to come into life. 2 or 3 more days, we should have all of the deck surface down and then working on the railings. So we're looking forward to getting the glass up and looking forward to the client coming home and see what their opinion is too. So for more tips and tricks on how to renovate your home, make sure you subscribe to our channel at Ottawa Design and Build here on YouTube.